based on stereotypes that are totally untrue, that I do not agree with, you would maybe not be a very good driver.
Oh man, am I a woman?
This video is the one that gets me canceled, isn't it?
Man, I'm dead.
Modern women, a term created by red pill YouTubers to define a female who lives a life of degeneracy and promiscuity. It's also a term these guys milk the shit out of.
Oh my god, damn!
Yeah, so this video is an extension, DLC of the previous video I made, the one about masculine content. So yeah, this is Fresh and Fit Slander, part 2. Baby. These creators claim that women in the last decade, it seems like, have been brainwashed and conditioned into this set life of degeneracy and promiscuity, mainly by social media, the media, and empowering female figures. Or, if you're a goober, by the Matrix. And though I fully agree with that statement, that game theory, that women have been promoted into a life of promiscuity and of degeneracy, I really don't think that degenerate women are all that common in the female population. Let me rephrase. I do think it's common, but not to the extent that these red pill guys make you want to believe. These red pill MFs really out here preaching that only 1% of the female population aren't degenerates. So with all of that being said, for the remainder of this video, I'll only be talking about the women that are actually degenerate and that are actually promiscuous. Like, don't think I'm one of those weird red pill MFs who just label all women under this degenerate umbrella.
If she breathes, she's a fuck!
Nah, I'm just gonna be talking solely about women that are already under that umbrella. No one else. Oh my god, Milo, you are such an incel. What the hell even is this video? The fact that you even questioned women's behavior at all to any extent already makes you an insecure ass, stupid ass, and you are a worthless bitch ass. Oh my god, shut your bitch. First off, some of it has to do with these red pill MFs. Yes, these red pill gurus who actively preach against these women. And no, this video isn't to justify or excuse their behavior, but just add a new perspective of this whole modern women dilemma that I don't see much people talk about. Again, I am not defending these women. You are not a victim. These red pill gurus preach about a ton of stuff, but one thing that they never seem to stop yapping about is how high value men should be allowed to cheat as much as they want with as many women as they want. They preach this while at the same time preaching about how all women nowadays just sleep around with a ton of guys. Do you see something wrong with this logic? First off, the blatant hypocrisy. Cheating and sleeping around is never justified no matter which of the two genders you are, male or female.
Adultery is a sin. Look it up in the Bible, people.
Regardless, if the psychological effects of sleeping around are different depending on your gender, sleeping around, being a part of hookup culture, is just such a big waste of time. It's for those who lack discipline, and honestly, it's just a glorified version of off. Choking the chicken. Playing the flesh flute.
What's that?
Spanking the monkey. Because that's all it is. Without any love or passion, just to please your undisciplined ass monkey brain.
But I look at this monkey.
No, it's not your natural instincts or whatever. It's just... That's one flaw in their logic, but another flaw, these red pill gurus talk shit on these hoes, but they themselves are the makers. They tell women to not sleep around, to preserve their body for their man, to be loyal, yet they go out of their way to find these same unloyal and promiscuous women who are doing exactly what they preach not to do. Do you see how fucked that is? That's literally like, if, I don't know, the plug were to be advocating against drugs.
Don't never buy no weed.
You can't be preaching against a certain lifestyle and 1, live that certain lifestyle, and 2, enable others to live that lifestyle, do those bad habits, and even worse, benefiting from their bad habits. Their bad habits enable your bad habits. And here's the sad part. If a guy, let's say, does drugs, hooks up all the time, is a loser, but he improves himself, he builds himself from the ground up, becomes a fucking G, a man of honor, he gets praised, he even becomes a success story, a redemption story. But when the woman tries to bounce back from her hoe phase, it's almost impossible to do so. And why is that? Well, because no reasonable guy with any amount of self-respect wants a girl who has gone through all of that.
No.
Like, there's a reason for the saying, once a always a. The negative effects of hookup culture do differ between the two genders. Like, women are more negatively affected psychologically when sleeping around than men are. But But men should still never do it. Please don't use the fact that you're a guy, that your brain chemistry is different, to try to justify your degenerate behavior, your undisciplined, lustful, degenerate behavior. Because again, I'm not trying to justify sleeping around at all for neither genders. I'm just trying to make a point that some women nowadays are put in an awful spot. They are taught and conditioned that lowering their standards for who gains access to their body is somehow empowering, and that it's the only way that you can get attention from a guy. And since again, most reasonable guys will never pick a girl who has gone through this phase, their destiny, their fate is seemingly sealed. Like, unless they erase all evidence of their past, they'll forever be known as the thought or the hoe. Because I'd say that the most tragic part about all of this is that when a guy improves himself, people excuse his years of degeneracy, his years of being a loser, because he really didn't know any better. Most guys who are currently degenerates are blissfully unaware of what they're doing. Like, sure, yeah, they understand somewhat that what they're doing is harmful, but they never truly grasp of how self-harming their lifestyle is. Because the guys who eventually do fully grasp and acknowledge the harm that they're inflicting upon themselves, the guys who gain self-awareness, they're the ones that decide to improve themselves. So when they bounce back, they redeem themselves, and their past mistakes are forgiven. But with a woman, she herself is blissfully unaware and parties all the time after being influenced by these powerful women who make her believe that what she's doing is not harmful at all. She starts to believe that all the bad habits that she's partaking in aren't harmful at all. Well, when she gains self-awareness and she sees the error of her ways, that all the empowering shit was all just bullshit, when she tries to bounce back from all of that, well, once a hoe, always a hoe. Right? And to an extent, it wasn't even really her fault. Like, she was surrounded by horrible role models, horrible people who filled her head up with false ideas and false promises of happiness, of freedom, and of empowerment. So metaphorically, or sometimes even literally, she was just born into this kind of life. And some women who try to better themselves get discouraged by this, by the fact that the majority of guys will see them as nothing else but for the rest of their lives. So they just double down. Why bother, right? It's all honestly such a horrible scenario. Honestly, if you're a woman watching this, the only men you'll attract with this stanky, slimy ass demeanor are men with the same stanky, slimy ass demeanor. Please, please don't feel like you have to act or dress in such a bold way to attract guys. Because trust me, I've seen it before. A lifestyle choice that small and seemingly insignificant is a very slippery slope. Like, it gets me sad when I see a girl desperately trying to play up a certain type of attitude, certain type of demeanor, and it's so clear that's all just a mask. Most guys can also sense it, that's all just a mask, but they won't say anything, again, for their own benefit. And the same goes for guys too, by the way. Some of you guys are fake as fuck around girls. I'm telling you, if you're a girl watching this, please find some self-respect in your heart to know that you deserve a better life than all this bullshit. Just be kind and compassionate to the people around you and to yourself, but not to an arrogant degree. And most importantly, be smart, and I guarantee that a guy with qualities 1,000 times better than whatever these playboys have to offer will come your way. You just gotta be patient, wait for him, you know? Good things really do come to those who wait. And right now, I guarantee you that your future man is currently building himself and both of your guys' future together to the sky right now. Just be willing to wait for him. And please, don't fall for all the fake promises of empowerment that modern media has you to believe by partaking in these degenerate activities. And you could hear all of this, all I've just said. You could call me an incel, call me a misogynist, all for speaking out on these objectively harmful and destructive habits and lifestyles. Or we can work together, men and women, as God intended since day one, to ensure that no more women get brainwashed into living this type of degenerate lifestyle. To ensure that the future generations, our kids, don't fall for these evil influences. We cannot support this evil shit. Like, on both sides of the spectrum. Like, fuck all that evil shit, bro. Because this is not empowering or hot or attractive even. This is just tragic.